home prices will continue to fall later this year. Will this finally be the time when we actually see home prices fall to the point where it actually becomes affordable for most home buyers out there looking for a home? What's up, YouTube? It's Matthew here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the housing market and how a lot of experts are predicting home prices to fall even deeper this year as compared to last year. There has been a lot of recent updates in the housing market as it relates to home prices, interest rates, inventories, and today I'm just going to break down different articles, read different stats about what a lot of experts are predicting to happen later this year. And as we know, usually during the fall and winter months, these months are super important for us to gauge how the housing market is actually, because these months are usually when home prices fall. Now, are they going to fall because it's just the seasonal average of home prices falling, or is it going to actually fall year over year and have a bigger discount compared to last year? I hope home prices do actually fall to the point where people can be comfortable with actually buying a house. Now, I know the Fed will continue on hiking up interest rates later this year. Right now, they have it on a pause, but with the rate hikes happening later this year, will this offset any home price decline that we are going to see later this year? Before we move into the different articles and show you all what's happening in the housing market, all I ask is that you subscribe to this channel for some content around the housing market, personal finance, and the economy as a whole. All right, so here in June 9th, in the June 9th report, home prices look posed to fall in the second half of 2023. The Case-Shiller data showed home price climbed in both February and March, and that was preceded by 7 consecutive months of decline. So here, this article is essentially saying that last year, starting in June, home prices started to fall. And then it actually went up again in February of this year. A lot of experts thought that the housing market sort of bottomed in January because there was a surge of people trying to buy houses because mortgage rates reached below 6%. And so that brought a lot of new customers in the housing market, which drove up prices. But now that mortgage rates are around the same rate that they were last year in October, where we saw this huge decline in home prices, we're starting to see home prices go down a little bit. A lot of experts believe that no, we're not at the bottom of the housing market. We're due for another correction. We're due for another consecutive 6 to 8 months of home price declines. Right here, economists pointed out that mortgage rates have rebounded. So they're close to the 2-decade highs set in October. We expect apartment capital values will plunge 20% in 2023 and 2024. So people looking for commercial real estate in apartment buildings, they are predicting even a bigger price decline happening there. Another reason why experts anticipate home price to decline is because buyers are being priced out and sitting on the sidelines, which lower demand as rates stay high. Now, looking at this chart right here, this is a very interesting chart from Fortune that they have here. So you have all of these months during 2013 to 2022, and you have all of these home prices always being up, right? Always being 1% higher than the previous month, or 2% higher, or 3% higher. And so you see that happening a lot in 2020 to 2022. And then you see all of these like 7 months of price declines happening. And then you're starting to see this uptick happening. And so a lot of experts believe that, yes, there was an uptick, and we'll probably see another one for April probably, but maybe after June of this year, once all the data is out, we'll start seeing price declines happening in the month of July, August, September, October, till the rest of this year. Because usually that's the peak of the housing seasonal market, right? Because it usually reaches peak in June, and then June, July, and then it starts to decline after that for the fall, winter seasons. And so I think this chart is super interesting just for a visual to look at that. Another interesting thing I want to mention in this article is not all experts believe that we're going to see home prices. CoreLogic and Zillow, right, one of the most well-known people or experts in this field, believe that the home prices are going to remain steady or even go up a little bit year over year. They don't see a price decline happening like most people see because of inventory issues. And so right now you have this map. Counting is at 0%. We're at an all-time high price rise in April of 2023. And so this blue shade is representing price decline or prices remaining steady, and you see the red going down. And so right now you don't see a lot of prices going up in the month of April, where we saw that in February and March, where the West Coast was red, right? Prices were falling in those areas, but the southeastern area, there were all price increases. They were all in the green. But I think finally you're seeing some price declines happening in the southeastern area of the United States. And yes, there will still be certain counties, certain cities that are going to remain steady with their prices no matter how the economy reacts. There will always still be some counties in America where you're going to see even some price increases happening because of the area, because of the affordability and things of that nature. But overall, as a nation, a lot of experts believe that home prices will fall later this year. On YouTube, you have a lot of people talking about home price crash, all of this, and they were saying that, and I wasn't 100% sure, especially during the spring and summer months. I was like, hey, let's take a look at the inventory. Let's take a look at how the summer time will react. Let's just see how everything goes. And yeah, we didn't see the huge price decrease that we were expecting this year so far, but I do believe we'll start seeing it more later this year. I don't believe, even with the price declines, that it's going to be affordable for most people. I think people are still going to make a way to buy their house no matter what, but I don't see it being affordable. I don't see the median home price going below $300,000, which would be great. I see it remaining above $325,000, right? Hopefully we can see some more price declines and things of that nature, but I'm doubtful for sure that it will be a steep enough discount where it's affordable. The next thing I want to talk about is this article showing how the housing market is overvalued. They state that the US housing market is overvalued by 40%. Super shocking. The housing market is overvalued by 40%. What does that mean? Now, this is a very specific model from a very specific real estate developer. The person's name is Sean Dobson. He's the founder and CEO of the powerhouse Amherst. And so they have $16.8 billion in capital for investors, one of the largest owners of single family homes for rent. And so they have a portfolio of roughly 44,000 residencies across 32 metros and 19 states. And so he uses a lot of AI, a lot of technology in order to read a market. He uses AI to do appraisals to see if this is a good opportunity for them to invest in a particular property or in a particular area. So here, this 40% valuation for him, he's just looking at the states that he does real estate in. But essentially, this is just saying that what houses are selling for versus what our models say they should be selling for. And you have this chart right here showing current prices and then the fundamental value, what it should actually be selling for. And you see that happening right here. And they have a projection for 2025 for it going down, but still being 10% overvalued essentially. We'll see what happens. Right now, 2023, they see it at 40%. Maybe by 2024, it'll be 20%. And in 2025, around 10%. So, and then maybe a steep drop right here actually happening. So I don't know if this goes down more that way or just straight down, but they see by 2025, the housing market not being as overvalued as it is right now. Another interesting thing about this article was that he has this housing market inventory chart or bar graph just showing the amount of inventory, the total for sale active listings in the US as of April of each year. 2019, we had over 500,000 in 2019. Now in 2023, we have just over 320,000. So you can see how this affects home prices, right? It affects how overvalued these properties are. Families who benefited from ultra low cost mortgages over the past decade won't move, right? When you give home buyers loans that are way below the fair market rate from a supply and demand perspective, you've burned down that house. It's gone from the market. And you can imagine, I was reading this article and it was saying that a huge stat, like over 90% of all mortgage homes are below a 5% interest rate, even most of them being below a 4.5% interest rate. And when you have interest rate like that, why would you move, right? This article is saying, especially if you have them in the 2s and the low 3s, that house is gone for for the next 10, 15 years. Don't expect that person to sell the house unless an emergency happen, job, or things of that nature. And so you have a lot of buyers not needing to move or not wanting to move, because why would they sell their house and get something similar for double the monthly cost because of higher interest rate? And so you have a lot of buyers staying with their houses, not going out and selling their houses or anything like that. And so that keeps home prices down. Another interesting thing that I want to state about the housing market is that housing has become so unaffordable that over 75% of homes on the market are too expensive for middle income buyers. So essentially, middle income buyers are people that make around $75,000. With that stat, and thinking of the third rule, like you cannot spend over 30% of your household income on housing, that person at $75,000 has to look for a house around $250,000 or less. It says here, thanks to elevated mortgage rates, the housing market is missing around 320,000 homes priced at or below $256,000. The maximum price a middle income buyer earning up to $75,000 can afford. So here, especially if you go to a mortgage office and you make this amount of money, they're not going to pre-approve you for a loan over that amount, right? And so this is happening to a lot of people making that amount of money, whether you are dual income or if you're just a single person making that much money. So of the 1.1 million listings on the market in April, middle income buyers can only afford 23% of them. That's less than half of what the group could afford 5 years ago, when around 50% of all listings on the market were considered affordable for that group. Now, some areas that are affordable are located in Ohio. Meanwhile, El Paso, Texas, Boise, Idaho, Spokane, Washington have the fewest number of listings considered affordable. And so right here, you just have this visualization like, okay, around 1 million listings were out there in April. And regular people, the normal, your average Joe, they could only afford around 23% of those homes. That stat is staggering because more people want to have affordable homes. And so you have to have a shift happening in the economy. And so hopefully later this year, we'll have this stat raise up a little bit, either by people just getting paid more or home prices affordability actually improves. And if you're looking for an affordable home, look to Ohio, look in different areas. And I mentioned different cities that were not deemed affordable. So if you're looking to move and you want to take advantage and sell your house for a profit, whether you're in these high cost living areas, you can get that money and find an affordable place in these other areas. All right, you all, hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on what you see happening to home prices later this year.